How do you innovate a chicken sandwich? You get rid of the bread to maximize the chicken. The KFC Double Down is 2 strips of bacon, 2 slices of Monterey Jack and pepper jack cheese, with Colonel sauce sandwiched between 2 boneless chicken fillets. No buns allowed. Today, we're going to take a look at the heart-stopping history of KFC's Double Down sandwich. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. After that, please leave a comment and let us know what other fast food menu items you would like to hear about. Okay, grab a bib because this one's gonna be finger-licking good. In the realm of fast food, it's rare to encounter something truly original. Domino's offers basically the same menu as Papa John's, depending on whether you're in the mood for thin cardboard or chewy dough with a bunch of sauce. Subway has a similar menu to Blimpie's, and McDowell's is as close to a complete ripoff of McDonald's as it can legally be without getting its kneecaps broken by Ronald McDonald. But as far as anyone can tell, KFC's Double Down wasn't based on any pre-existing sandwich sold at another fast food chain. While its name is certainly an allusion to the game of blackjack, as well as the general concept of going all in on heart disease, the rest is pure Kentucky Fried ingenuity. The story of the Double Down begins in August of 2009, when KFC placed the sandwich in 2 test markets, one in Omaha, Nebraska, and the other in Providence, Rhode Island. Thanks to commercials run in the test markets, ads in newspapers, and word of mouth from customers, it didn't take long for news of the breadless sandwich to spread far and wide. Those tests must have gone well, because just 11 days later, on April 1st, 2010, KFC announced that it would take the sandwich nationwide. Given that the announcement came on April Fool's Day, many Americans concluded the Double Down was a prank. The sandwich's tagline, "So meaty there's no room for the bun," didn't do much to thwart that misconception.
Meat is the new bread!
But the sandwich was all too real. KFC even added a clock to their website that counted down to the release of the Double Down, like it was the timer to the delicious bomb about to be unleashed on the colons of millions of Kentucky Fried customers. The Double Down was finally released on April 12, 2010. KFC had originally stated that it would only be available for a limited time, until May 23, 2010. But the highly experimental sandwich proved much more popular than the chicken chain ever expected. On May 19th, the company changed its mind and announced the Double Down would become a permanent addition to the menu. Now, nobody ever accused the Double Down of being a health food item. It's bacon and cheese, slathered in mayonnaise and pinned between 2 hunks of fried meat. Remember, the sandwich was so intentionally decadent that many people assumed it was a prank. Nutritionists, for their part, were downright horrified. But how unhealthy could it really be?
Bacon and cheese wrapped in fried chicken, or living.
According to KFC itself, the sandwich has 540 calories. Double Down actually contains more like 1,228 calories, which means a single sandwich is roughly half the recommended daily caloric intake of the average person, or the first hour of one of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's cheat days. In fact, according to the Daily Mail, the Double Down has more calories than 2 Big Macs. Keep in mind that beyond the astronomical calorie count, the Double Down contains 1,380 milligrams of salt, 32 grams of fat, and 10 grams of cholesterol-laden saturated fat. And that's just the sandwich. All of these numbers get even worse when you factor in a soda and fries. And if you've already decided to order a Double Down, it's not like you're going to skip the fries. You've come this far. If you burn your wings flying this close to the sun, so be it. One of the strangest aspects of the Double Down was its timing. As many have pointed out, when the Double Down was released, 2/3 of the population of the United States was considered overweight or obese. To combat the obesity epidemic, fast food chains at the time were generally trying to add healthier options to their menus, like salads, fruit, and grilled chicken breasts. As such, advanced reactions to the Double Down in the media were almost exclusively about how grotesque it looked. A columnist for SFGate even wondered which executive at KFC said, "Let's go against every shred of human decency, common sense, and even the First Lady's humble plea to get us to please quit making the country so stupidly obese and sick, and sell a truly disgusting creation." Sure. But have you actually tried one?
Oh, wow.
You might think that KFC would have been upset by all the negative reactions, but some marketing experts actually think that was really the whole point all along. The Double Down was so unapologetically over the top that it may have always been intended to get KFC's name in the headlines. Any publicity is good publicity. Speaking to Salon in 2010, one fast food industry expert theorized that KFC was targeting working-class consumers that have less discretionary income and are looking for a very satisfying meal. The idea here is that people would be buying the Double Down not because it was good, but because it was a lot of food for a little money. This does make some sense. Demographically speaking, KFC is perceived as having higher quality than places like Popeyes or Church's Chicken, but not quite in the league of something like Chick-fil-A, where all the robber barons go for their chicken. Generally speaking, KFC's consumer base is blue-collar. At the same time, a sandwich like the Double Down could also appeal to higher-end consumers who are looking for a lower-end meal. After all, if you're going to go slumming in a chicken sandwich sense, might as well go all the way. In the decade after its release, the Double Down became something of a pop culture phenomenon. The sandwich was added to the menus of KFCs around the world. Videos of people eating the salty monstrosity became a fad on YouTube. Stephen Colbert even ate one on Comedy Central's The Colbert Report. Double Down t-shirts and merchandise even became a thing. No word on whether they sold bibs or adult diapers. But despite its popularity, the Double Down would only remain on the menu in American KFCs until the end of 2014. However, despite being out of sight, the Double Down was never quite out of mind. Ever since the sandwich was first announced, amateur chefs have attempted to recreate it. You could find plenty of recipes to try with just a quick internet search. You can even find variations on the infamous sandwich, including a vegetarian Double Down. You know, if you're a coward. In response, KFC has occasionally humored fans by bringing the sandwich back for limited runs in various countries. Double Downs were briefly sold in Canadian KFCs in 2021. A year later, Italian KFCs offered the legendary artery blocker for a short stint. Near pun intended. The heart wants what will stop it. Once they saw how popular it was, KFC doubled down on the Double Down, offering several tantalizing variations on the mouth-watering monstrosity. The Zinger Double Down uses KFC's spicier batter recipe and adds some sliced jalapenos and chipotle mayonnaise into the mix for when you need to get to heartburn fast. And if you think that's too much of a good thing, think again, because there's also the Zinger Double Down King. It's only available in South Korea, but it might be worth the trip for aficionados, because this Double Down somehow manages to cram in a full beef patty along with everything else sandwiched between its fried chicken fillets. Meanwhile, in Canada, where the Double Down became KFC's best-selling new menu item ever, selling over 350,000 units in less than 10 days, loyal customers were rewarded with the Waffle Double Down, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's your basic Double Down with a Belgian waffle and maple-flavored aioli slopped in between the chicken buns. Sounds good, eh? And if you happen to be in the Philippines in 2016, you might have been lucky enough to catch the limited-time-only Double Down G, which incorporated some crispy fried spinach into the recipe as well as a secret green sauce. Considering what we already know goes into a Double Down, we're sort of worried about what ingredient could have been so extreme that they decided to keep it secret. The Philippines is also home to the Junior Double Down, which is essentially just a smaller version of the sandwich. In August of 2020, Australian KFCs were given the Zinger Mozzarella Double, which included Zinger-coated mozzarella-filled patties and mozzarella cheese. This Double Down, however, was only available through a secret menu accessible through KFC's delivery app. But it didn't stay secret for long. Instructions on how to order it were eventually revealed on TikTok. Australians struck it rich again in September of 2021 when KFC Australia introduced the Pizza Double, which incorporated pizza sauce and pepperoni slices. There was also a Hawaiian Double Down, which included a slice of pineapple and barbecue sauce, and was only available in Singapore and never in Hawaii. KFC even drummed up some halal-friendly versions of the formidable sandwich that replaced the bacon with strips of turkey or even more chicken. And let's not forget the Double Down Dog, a hot dog wrapped in a chicken fillet and then smothered in sauce and mayo. The Double Down dog was also only available in the Philippines, which is enough to make the crossover market of hot dog and Double Down fans green with jealous rage. Once upon a time, America was all about the beef, as demonstrated by the dominance of chains like McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's. But since oversaturation has made it increasingly difficult to make a mark in the burger market, Americans have been increasingly turning to chicken. Chicken consumption in the U.S. has actually risen 16.6% per capita since 2010. Meanwhile, in the same amount of time, beef consumption has declined by almost 3%. Fast food businesses, always eager to give their customers what they want, have taken notice and are all trying to wet their respective beaks in the chicken market. While almost every fast food chain offers some type of chicken sandwich, it was Popeyes that turned the spirited competition into an all-out war. On August 12, 2019, Popeyes launched their fried chicken sandwich, and nothing has been the same since. The sandwich, which has become more popular than the franchise ever dreamed, completely sold out within 2 weeks of launch. Even more importantly, with an average of 1,000 chicken sandwiches being purchased per store per day, Popeyes saw its foot traffic double. The success of their chicken sandwich was almost single-handedly responsible for a 38% jump in Popeyes' same-store sales reported in the fourth quarter of 2019. McDonald's, conversely, saw its chicken sales dip in roughly the same period, a development they attributed to competitive pressure from the Popeyes sandwich. If imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, Popeyes is probably feeling pretty flattered, because the success of its chicken sandwich has spawned a whole lot of clones. In July of 2020, Fatburger responded with its King's Hawaiian Crispy Chicken Sandwich. The following September, Chick-fil-A put its Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich into testing. A month later, Church's released its Church's Chicken Sandwich, and Wendy's upgraded its classic chicken sandwich to new competitive standards. December of the same year brought Jack in the Box's Cluck Sandwich, and January saw the arrival of Sonic's Chicken Slinger. Carl Jr.'s BLT Ranch Big Chicken Sandwich, Shake Shack's Korean-style Fried Chicken Sandwich, and Boston Market's Nashville Hot Crispy Chicken Sandwich. It was a huge January for chicken sandwich lovers, and for people who still eat at Boston Market. KFC stayed quiet until 2021 when they responded to the challenge by cooking up their own Popeye-style chicken sandwich. The sandwich, a quarter-pound white meat double-breaded extra crispy chicken breast fillet, pickles and mayo or spicy sauce on a freshly toasted brioche bun, doubled sales expectations in a test market and is now widely available. Only time will tell how it will do compared to its numerous competitors. But if KFC really wants to win the chicken sandwich wars, it might be time to bring back the Double Down.
Double down on KFC's Double Down.
So what do you think? Would the Double Down tickle your fancy? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're at it, check out some of these other weird history food videos.